Yeah, so I didn't know any of my teammates. We could only go into the locker room in groups, so we weren't able to shower in the locker room. And you make friends in the locker room through the showers, through the locker room in general. That's just how it is. Soccer culture. You make
Yeah.
friends in the locker room. That's where you become best friends with people.
Yep.
The funny conversations and stuff like that. We didn't have any of that. It was practice straight out. We actually had bins filled with balls and snacks for for practice. So we each had our own ball with a bin and our name on it. It was like the most ridiculous
Oh
thing
my
ever.
god.
So I didn't know anybody. So I'm like a lost puppy
Yeah.
for my first year. I didn't have any friends. And the thing is that if you had COVID, you had to be quarantined for 14 days. So think about it. This time you had a game. Usually in college you have a game every 3-4 days, but COVID you had a game probably once a week on each weekend. And I think you get COVID, you're out for 14 days, and at this time people were getting COVID at like exponential rates.
Yeah.
So um, you had this fear of like, oh, 14 days, like that's 2 games of my season. Then after that, you have to get tested for echocardiograms and all that heart stuff. So you're now out for another week, maybe 2 weeks, getting tests, getting results. Maybe your tests don't come back complete, so you have to now do more tests to see if you're okay and all this stuff. So if you get COVID, you could be out for like a month and a half. And as a little freshman, I'm trying to make an impression, trying to do the best I can to um, make the starting lineup and impress the coaches. So I'm just like, I didn't do anything. I sat in my dorm. And I look back on it, I'm like, what an idiot. I sat in my dorm, but I made my best friend through that, so that's a positive. But yeah, I sat in my dorm, played Madden all day, didn't do anything, didn't really go out. So I missed out on that freshman year, making friends. You definitely missed out on that. But yeah, in terms of soccer, we still had a little bit of a season. It was that fall and spring season. We didn't end up making the tournament my freshman year, but I actually scored in my first ever game, my debut. I
Wow.
got to start. I started
What position?
I was playing as the 9. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a left back now. So I played the 9 my whole life actually growing up. Same thing with my clubs. At Red Bull, when I joined Red Bull, I played left back. My senior year of high school, I played for Red Bull. But yeah, anyway, I went to college, was a 9, played the 9 for 3 years, and there I got lucky. I scored a header in my debut off a corner, and I ran over to the bench and I gave Philip Quinton, who now plays for the Columbus Crew, a bloody nose because I jumped into his arms and I headbutted him in the nose. So, and he was a senior at the time, so you can imagine I was like, oh shoot. But nah, he's one of my best friends now as well. But yeah, so I scored. Awesome feeling, like it's like when you go skydiving or anything fun, you black out. It's like that's what like a super important goal feels like. You don't even remember. I don't even remember how the ball went in the net or how it got in there. Man, I just closed my eyes and put my head on it. It went in the net, and you black out after that, and everything is black. But awesome feeling. So freshman year was off to a cold but hot start, I guess.
Right.
So that went great. Was playing, I got time to play. I was very lucky, like Javi said, as a freshman, you don't really get to play. Like a lot of freshmen expect to come in out of high school because they're the man in high school, and you expect to play. But I came in hoping to play, but not expected to play, and I got lucky. I was able to prove myself, get in the starting lineup and play. I didn't start every game. Wasn't expecting that. There was another 9. He happened to be hurt, and I think that's the main reason I started. Jack Lynn, who now plays he just scored his first goal for Orlando.
Nice.
He was the one starting over me. So he's 2 years older than me, and so he was hurt. So I got lucky enough to start, and I happened to score. But yeah, freshman year was great. Other than all the COVID stuff, everything was awesome. I made the most out of what you can. You enjoy it as much as you can. You go to a training every day. You enjoy it. You make friends. You play a lot of Xbox. Schoolwork was on Zoom, so it was interesting freshman year, but it definitely went up from there. And kind of skipping past all that freshman year, I had times where I wasn't starting or I wasn't playing nearly as much as I wanted to, but that's all part of being a freshman, and really it's all part of playing the sport in general. You're going to get things you want, you're going to get things you don't want. So fast forward to sophomore year, COVID I think is pretty much dead at this point.
Yeah, there's still some testing.
Yeah, still some testing and all that kind of all that stuff.
And some new ways of COVID different.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there's whatever. It's dying down a little bit. We're actually having in-person classes now, kind of like half and half, I think.
Everybody's vaccinated at this point.
Yeah, they made you get vaccinations at Notre Dame.
Yep.
So everybody, whatever. It was all good in terms of COVID. I think at that point, that's when you kind of come into sophomore year a little bit. You had your freshman year. You know where things are around campus now. You're familiar with all that stuff. So I come in um, sophomore year expecting to be a big crucial part of the team and start. And preseason went well, everything went well, and I was starting the first couple games. It was me, Jacqueline. We played a 4-4-2, and I was one of the two strikers up top. It was me, him, and then this freshman who came in was Matt Rue. So we kind of rotated us three. And there were times where I didn't start, and the freshman Matt Rue would start over me, or whatever, and we would kind of rotate. He had a really good freshman year, so I had some struggles too. Like sometimes I wasn't starting where I would hope I would start. But whether or not in college, unlimited subbing rule, you can
Yep.
you can play 60 minutes and not start the game. So just with the way the rules are. So that's pretty much what was happening. We were all playing like 60, 65 minutes a game, just rotating. But yeah, I was playing a lot. I think I scored only 3 goals that year. Definitely wasn't as many as I would have liked, but that's why I'm a left back now, guys. I'm not a goal scorer. But yeah, so it went well. Was playing all the time. That was the year we actually made the College Cup. So we won the ACC tournament. And this year, man, for those of you that never get to experience it, I'm sorry, because there's nothing better than being around a team and full of guys that you love and guys that you want to run through a brick wall with. We were so good, and the guys on the team were so awesome. I think the reason we were so good is just because team culture. I tell this to a lot of people, is that team culture is so important. Sometimes in the professional game you don't get it as much because people aren't as willing to get as close. But in college, everybody, you're doing the same daily activities every day. You're going to class together, you're eating together, it's the dining halls together, it's parties together, everything is together. So that was a great upside. And I think our team brought a really good team culture. And with that, we started off actually the season 1-3-1. So from that, you look at that and you're like, 1 win, 3 losses, 1 tie, and you're like, oof, we're in for a rough one this year. After freshman year, it wasn't a great freshman year, so it was like, oh no, is it another one? Is it going to be another one of these seasons? And turns out we just turned it around. We went on hot streaks. We went on like a crazy shutout run. There was like, I don't even know, 6 or 7 games that I'd given up a goal, like something crazy where we were just playing out of our minds, winning game after game. And we ended up, I don't think we won the regular season of the ACC, but we did really well. I think we got probably a top seed, and we went into the ACC tournament. Just kind of plowed through and got ourselves a ring. I wish I had my ring to show. It's a sick ring. It's a nice little diamond ACC ring. But yeah, like that. I remember actually standing in the huddle with all the guys. Like before the game, everybody huddles up around the half. Like I remember standing in the huddle, and it's kind of corny, but like I was looking around, and I was like, damn, like I love these guys.
Yeah.
This is awesome. Like this is where I want to be, and I kind of hope to have that, on every team moving forward, where it's like you look around, and you're like, wow, like I don't ever want to leave this. I want to be with these guys forever. And we ended up winning the ACC. Partied, had a great time. Like it was unreal. The team was doing so good, and now we're heading into the national tournament. I think we get a bye in the first round, and we just start going on a run again. We're winning game after game, and then we made it to the College Cup, and this was like my first experience in the national tournament because we didn't make it my freshman year, and I was like, wow, like this is awesome. Like we're 1 game away from winning a national championship. You know what I mean? And with that game, we played Clemson, who has knocked me out my senior, my junior, and my sophomore year. I have ended my seasons to Clemson three years in a row. Thanks, guys. But we played Clemson. We ended up losing in a pen shootout, which is probably the worst way to go out, especially in a national tournament. Sucks to go out like that, but that's the game. And we ended up losing that, and that was super, super tough season. But that year, I think, was a good learning point for me in terms of just times where you're seeing the field, times where you're not seeing the field, and I got lucky enough again to play a good amount that year. Would have liked to have played more, but I think junior year for me is kind of the year where I started to struggle maybe a little bit. And a lot of people might say, "Oh, junior year, like that's your year. You're the man. You do like junior year is your year to prove yourself and show yourself. And I'm sure you felt the same way. And
Because you kind of like you don't have the pressure to prove yourself because you're not a senior, but you have those 2 years of experience where
we're like
You're
junior year,
supposed-
you want your name on the radar.
exactly.
Especially knowing that we said we want to get drafted one day.
Yep.
Junior year is your year. You want your name on the radar.
Yeah.
And after such a great year, sophomore year, it's always good when your team does well to, in terms of getting reputation and getting drafted and getting looked at. It's always better when your team does well. So junior year, I'm like, oh, like I really hope the team does well this year. Like I want to get my name on the radar and start doing good things and whatever. So the season goes on. I'm starting every game pretty much. And then I kind of feel myself slowly falling off a little bit, just like in terms of quality and the team itself wasn't doing great this year. We didn't make the tournament. We lost in the first round of the ACC. Like my junior year, we did not do well at all. But yeah, I mean, it started off pretty good. Like I felt good. I was coming in strong. I trained very hard in the summers. I go home and I train really, really hard to make sure that when I come back, I'm ready to go. I came back the fittest guy in the team. I won the fitness test. So like things like that. Like I was super committed and ready to go. And game after game, I think I didn't score my first goal as a 9. Probably like until 5 or 6 games into the season, and like that takes a toll on you a little bit as a 9. As a 9, you have to be super like as they say in Ted Lasso, like a goldfish. You got to have the mind of a goldfish. You just got to forget about every little mistakes. That's what the life is. But like for me, I always struggled with being able to forget those things, and those things kind of sit in the back of my mind. And just game after game, it was like. One game was like, oh, okay, I missed. Like, you know what? I got close. Next game is mine. I'm going to score. Next game comes, you don't score. Like, all right. Like, it's all right. Like, one more, next one. We're right there. We're so close.
Yeah.
Next game comes, you don't score again. You're like, oh, shit. Like I got to, all right, like, come on. Like, here we go. And then the game after, and then it just, in your mind, you start to pile up on yourself and you start to get in your own head and you're like, oh my God, am I ever going to score? Like, what am I doing? You tell yourself, you suck. I suck. I can't score. I can't do this. I can't do that. And that's the worst mentality anybody could ever have. You learn that the hard way. And that's why I say I was not ready for the professional game, because there's a lot more cutthroat than college is. So, game after game, I don't have a goal yet. And I think my playing time starts to dwindle a little bit. Like I'm going from playing 80, 75 minutes a game to 60 to 45. 45 to I think I was down to 30. Even sometimes I think a game where I played 10 minutes, and that's never happened to me in my career at Notre Dame. That never happened to me. And I was like, oh my God, what's going on? And I finally, I think in 5-6 games, and I finally scored my first goal, and I felt like a relief on my shoulders. I was like, oh my gosh, thank God that I finally got this monkey off my back that I just I couldn't get out. And after that, I expected it to be all green pastures from there, and it wasn't. It was still a grind. I think my junior year, I ended up scoring 6 goals, but that's also because I had a hat trick in a game. So I mean, you think about that, 6 goals in a season, oh, that's not too bad. But then you're like, oh wait, you had 3 goals in one game.
That was last year, right?
Yeah, it was against Michigan. It was a really good hat trick, to be fair. We ended up winning 3-2, and I scored all 3, so that was really cool. But it was my first hat trick at Notre Dame and my last. But
One and only.
But yeah, my playing time slowly dwindled down, and I think the most important thing for me, my junior year, is actually my junior spring, is when I was dealing with injury. And this actually started. It's called osteitis pubis. It's like a injury in your pubic area.
I had the same.
That goes, yeah, he had the same thing. It goes all the way down into your groins and hip flexors, and you can attest how painful it is and how hard it is to.
You cannot even bend.
You can't bend. I couldn't tie my shoes, especially after game. I had to take pills. I took pills in my sophomore year to play every game. It just a super strong anti-inflammatory. The only way I could play my sophomore year was with that. And taking that many pills is never good for your body. So obviously, I wanted to find a way off of that. Junior year, was such a it was like big season, so I was like, I can't take my time off yet. I need to play this fall season. I can't risk taking time off. So I played through it, sucked it up all junior season, playing through some serious pain. Like I said, I couldn't tie my shoes after games. I couldn't it was horrible, terrible pain. Something I hope that nobody ever has to go through. And junior spring is when I started dealing with that little bit of the mental stuff. And I mean, we can get into that a little bit later, the injury stuff, but I think that's where I learned the most. And just 6 months out, little procedures and stuff like that, time away from your team, mentally you struggle. And me and Javi will talk more into that mental side of things in a little bit. But for the purpose of where we're heading, I'll stay here with now junior year, so not a great year. We didn't make any tournament. We didn't make the tournament. We lost first round to Clemson. So scrap that year off, and you head into my senior year where I just played the fall. So I should be in college right now in my spring season, but I graduated early. So I do have a degree. But went into my senior year like the best I think I ever felt, meant, because I went through that, I'll talk about it later. I went through that mental period where I grew this great mindset, I think, and I still use that, and I still have that to this day. I worked my ass off in the summer. Like I said, I came in the fittest guy again. I won the fitness test again my senior year. Just super, super ready to go. And our coach had changed our formation. We played a 4-4-2, and we kind of would play a little bit more long ball style, which was very frustrating at times, but it was working, so you couldn't complain. And then my senior year, we changed to a 3-5 or a 3-2-4-1, but more of like a playing build out shape. And I actually got moved to that. Well, I was playing at the 9 to start, and we needed a right winger. We kept switching, rotating guys in there, and coach was like, "You want to try there? I think we're gonna play there." And I was like, "Sure, well, I mean, whatever. I don't care. I'll try it. Why not? It seems like a fun spot." So coach put me out wide and had, I think, 3 games. I played 3 of the best games I played for Notre Dame. Just absolutely killed it. And the coach was like, "Yeah, okay, well, that's your spot for the year." I was like, "All right, sounds good to me." So I ended up playing right winger. I love playing as an inverted winger. Much more fun than playing as a other winger. That's kind of what I do now. But no, I love inverted winger. Cut in on your strong foot. But yeah, I loved it. It was a great year for me. Senior year was another great year. One of the best years I had there individually as a player. Maybe I didn't have the stats that I think I wanted, but I think in terms of being important to the team, I was definitely super crucial to helping us to get where we got. And yeah, I just came in super fit, did really, really well, was super confident coming off of my junior year, just battling all the demons I had battled my junior year. Super, super confident, and ended up having a great year. I mean, this was very recent, so for those of you who watch college soccer, you know what happened. We ended up winning the ACC regular season. We actually got knocked out pretty early in the ACC tournament, but I think that ended up setting us up for a good break right before the national tournament, which ended up being, almost the best thing we could ask for. Yeah, going into the tournament, we played Kentucky first. Played really well that game. Coaches were super happy with me after the game. We as a team played well. Won, I think it was 2-0, 1 or 2-0. Hit the crossbar, almost scored that game. And then, yeah, game was going super well. And then after that, I feel like I'm forgetting the team, but I think we played Western Michigan after that in the round of 16. And that game was, for those of you who watched it,
There was a PK?
that was no.
Oh.
That's the other PK.
Yeah.
I scored 2 winning
This is the
PKs.
snow.
Yeah, that's the snow game.
Yeah.
So Western Michigan was just Notre Dame. It snows all the time, and it was full of snow. The field was white as.
Oh, that wasn't Notre Dame.
Yeah, that was at our.
Yeah.
You literally, you couldn't see the ball. Like when we had to use a green ball so that you could play, so you could see it. Because you used the white ball, would blend in with the snow.
Yeah.
It was so snowy, and when you would pass the ball, it was literally like sticky snow. So it would be like a snowman. When you roll the snowballs and it starts to build up like a
That's
snowman.
crazy.
It was literally the snow would catch up on the ball. So you couldn't do anything. And to make it worse, we got a red card 30 minutes into the game, and we ended up going to PKs. So that's 90 minutes. That's a full 90 minutes of having a red card. So we played 90 minutes, the man down in the absolute snow against a team who probably thrives in the snow because they're just big guys,
Yeah.
like gritty. We'll get into tackles like that. That was better for them than it was for us. And they're from Michigan, so they're used to the snow too. So that was 90-minute grind. Just like when I say that, I think I tried to connect the pass and I turned the ball over and then I got yelled at. And then from that moment on, every time I touched the ball, I just kicked it as far as I could because you couldn't do anything in that snow. Like it was impossible. It was impossible. So anytime I touched the ball, and I think anytime anybody on our team touched the ball, it was just see you later. And we just sent it down the field. So that game was brutal, but we ended up going to Pens and our goalie made a great save to go up 1-0, and I was the fourth shooter, and they missed twice, so I got the chance to score the winning pen, and fortunately I did. I scored, and I did a belly slide. I mean, who's not going to? You got to do a belly slide on the snow. So I did a full belly slide to the corner on the snow. We all celebrated, great, whatever, win. Heading into round of 16 against Indiana, and those are our rivals. IU is like our absolute rival just because it's crosstown, and we're both Indiana. You know, they're a great school. They're a great soccer school, IU. And in my 3.5 years, we had never beat them to this point. We played them. We played them every single year, whether it was the spring or in the regular season. We played them sometimes both in the spring and the fall. Never beat them. Whether we tied or we lost, I don't know why. We couldn't beat them. So going into this game, we're like, all right, well, it's got to happen now, right? And we're having a good game. We're playing well. They're playing well too. And I don't remember if it was the first or second half, but lined up for a free kick. If you saw the game this week, and Javier Armas scored a free kick, mine was better.
Wow.
So he lined up. Mine was in a bigger setting, okay, more meaningful. His was a little.
You think so?
Yeah, bigger. Elite Eight. You know, I know it's college soccer, but it's got more. You know, there's more meaning. There's like 5,000 people at the game, right? Or 4,000 people at the game. Packed. Okay. Scored a free kick. Did a little FIFA celebration. Celebrated. Great feeling. Awesome. You know, at this point in my senior year, you know, I had some struggles that year too. It just, you know, didn't score as many goals as I would have liked. But, you know, just like I said, learned that junior year we'll talk about later, but stayed positive and, you know, scored a really big goal for the team to go up 1-0. They ended up scoring a little bit later in the second half to tie 1-1, and the game went to Pens. And this time, instead of the fourth shooter, I was the fifth shooter. We made it all the way to 5, and they had missed one, so I got the chance to bury it and put it right side, buried it, and then, as Javi already mentioned, I did one of these. Honestly, I understand why people would think it's cocky. I don't know why I did it. I couldn't tell you. Like, there was no reason behind it.
Like, that doesn't define you at all. That celebration. I don't know, you know? Now knowing you,
no, not at all.
You doing that one, I don't know, you know?
No, I get it. It was pretty iconic. It blew up. It blew up.
Okay.
It blew up.
It blew up for sure.
It had almost 100,000 likes on NCAA soccer and everything. It blew up. It was crazy. I gained 1,600 followers on Instagram, which is crazy. It was nuts. But yeah, so that blew up for some reason. I mean, it actually got a lot of hate comments, to be fair, but you just laugh at those. It's like, dude, you don't even know me and you're hating on me from your couch. Seriously. And that's what a lot of people do, is you realize that now that you're in the professional game, and when you make it too far, you realize that people, and you even look at, you can see people do it to professionals all the time. And we've probably participated in ourselves. We say, oh, this guy sucks, or this guy's playing bad. That's what people do. But, humans love to judge other humans without knowing anything. So, but whatever. That was pretty iconic, my celebration. And that was the game where I think all 4,000 people or 3,000 people at the game, whatever, I remember it was, rushed the field, and you can find a video of it somewhere. It's crazy. Like, the whole school rushed the field, and I don't think that's ever happened in a college soccer game, really. That the whole school rushed the field. And
that happened on Oregon State.
Yeah, all five people at your game. Your mom and your dad and your brother, they all ran it.
That was 2,000 maybe.
No, yeah, okay, sure. I'm kidding, but no, it was unbelievable feeling, especially being the one who got to score the winning PK. Like, everybody, and I scored the goal that game, so everybody was running around me. And best moment in my soccer life for sure. Just unreal feeling. All people making you give speeches, giving you the trophy. Little kids asking for autographs. You do it for the kids. So
Yeah.
it's awesome. But yeah, we won that game and then headed into the College Cup where we played Oregon State, and we got lucky enough to beat them 1-0, and head to the national championship. And like I said, my sophomore year, like these were a group of guys that were just like, wow, like I miss those